Oh, it's you!
Sometimes when we see people, we think we know who they really are. But sometimes we can be wrong. We will hear 2 Bible readings showing situations where people either did not know someone they thought they knew, or did not see who someone really was. In the first reading, Celia is going to tell us a story of a family betrayal.
A reading from Genesis chapter 27. When Isaac was old and his eyes were dimmed so that he could not see, he called his elder son Esau and said to him, "My son." And he answered, "Here I am." He said, "See, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me. Then prepare for me savoury food such as I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may bless you before I die." Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game and bring it, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "I heard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me game and prepare for me savoury food to eat, that I may bless you before the Lord before I die.' Now therefore, my son, obey my word as I command you. Go to the flock and get me 2 choice kids, so that I may prepare from them savoury food for your father, such as he likes. And you shall take it to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies." But Jacob said to his mother Rebekah, "Look, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am a man of smooth skin. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him and bring a curse on myself and not a blessing." His mother said to him, "Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my word and go, get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother prepared savoury food such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the best garments of her elder son Esau, which were in her house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. And she put the skins of the kids on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she handed the savoury food and the bread that she had prepared to her son Jacob. So he went in to his father and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am. Who are you, my son?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Now sit up and eat of my game, so that you may bless me." But Isaac said to his son, "How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son?" He answered, "Because the Lord your God granted me success." Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near, that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not." So Jacob went up to his father Isaac, who felt him, and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him because his hands were hairy, like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. He said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He answered, "I am." Then he said, "Bring it to me, that I may eat of my son's game and bless you." So he brought it to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near and kiss me, my son." So he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his garments, and blessed him, and said, "Ah, The smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed.
The account of Jacob and Esau lends itself so well to the question, do I really know you? If we consider the four protagonists, a husband, a wife, twin sons, one might imagine that they were very aware of each other's natures. But the parents have favourites. Jacob is jealous of his brother's birthright, and Isaac, without the ability to see his son clearly, is tricked by the scheming pair into robbing Esau of what is rightfully his. Even Esau is so enraged that he wants to murder his twin. Now let's look at the next reading.
A reading from the Gospel of Mark. He left that place and came to his hometown, and his disciples followed him. On the Sabbath, he began to teach the synagogue, and many who heard him were astounded. They said, "Where did this man get all this? What is this wisdom that has been given to him? What deeds of power are being doing by his hands? Is not this the carpenter of son of Mary and brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us?" And they took offense at him. Then Jesus said to the prophets are not without honor except in their hometown and among their own king and their own house. And he could no deed of power 3 except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and cured them, as he was amazed at their unbelief.
This reading is a wonderful example of the adage, don't judge a book by its cover, or perhaps more appropriately, never judge a person or a situation just on appearances or their background or their education. In other words, do we really know someone for however long we have known them? In our modern age, we relish celebrity. When someone becomes famous, the place where they were born claims them with pride, the nation, the town. Not so here with Jesus. The way he is received by those who come to hear him is dismissive. This is just Mary's son, a carpenter. While no mass communication existed then, news of him must have reached them. Yet they didn't value him or claim him as their own at all. In fact, they treated his deeds of power flippantly. He could do no deeds of power there, except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and cured them. Who does he think he is, they said. But his deeds of power are received with wonder and praise elsewhere. Now let's listen to what Jesus has to say to these people in this John Bell hymn.
Jesus Christ is waiting, waiting in the streets. No one is his neighbor, all alone he eats. Listen, Lord Jesus, I am lonely too. Make me friend or stranger, fit to wait on you.
Jesus Christ is raging, raging in the streets, where injustice spirals and real hope retreats. Listen, Lord Jesus, I am angry too. In the kingdom's causes, let me rage with you. Jesus Christ is healing, healing in the streets, curing those who suffer, touching those he greets. Listen, Lord Jesus, I have pity too. Let my heavy hearted healing just like you. Jesus Christ is dancing, dancing in the streets, where each sign of hatred he with love defeats. Listen, Lord Jesus, I should triumph too, where good conquers evil, let me dance with you. Jesus Christ is calling, calling in the streets. Who will join my journey? I will by their feet. Listen, Lord Jesus, let my fears be few. Walk one step before me, I will follow you.
I will follow you.
Over the last 30 months, the whole world has had to stand back and take a good, hard look at itself. Do we as a species know who we are? Climate change was already a huge topic, meaning that every responsible nation and person was looking at what they could do to change the way they impacted on planet Earth. Then along came COVID. The pandemic meant that every person and institution, not least the Church of England, had to totally rethink the way that they interacted with each other. Many people, if not all those in power, spent months isolating to protect themselves and loved ones. We had to get used to communicating with each other in very different ways. We all had to wear masks, which were not only uncomfortable, but meant that it was often very difficult to recognize even someone we knew well. It often led to different ways of communicating, more use of hands, and other ways of expressing our emotions. People worked from home, and this has led to a huge sea change in travel and working practices. This service that you are taking part in now is a perfect example of the way things have changed. And then the Russians invaded Ukraine, and what we thought were the norms of international relations were turned upside down in a few days.
This has meant all of us taking a good, hard look at ourselves and asking, who are we really? What do we really value? How best can we live out the values we hold dear? If someone is looking at us, what do they see? Do they see the real thing, or what we want them to see? Do we reflect the love of God in this world that is so fractured? The charity which St Mary's is supporting this year is Emmaus. It is a truly inspirational charity. giving shelter, work, and a pathway out of addiction, mental health problems, and homelessness for the companions who live and work there. Now, whilst it's not an overtly Christian charity, it embodies and puts into practice all those qualities which Christians want to strive for. All too often, people see a homeless person and make huge assumptions. If someone is homeless, they must be irresponsible, lazy, addicted to drugs, experiencing some form of mental illness. Now, while any of this might be the case, for many it can be very different. We thank God for people and organisations who make the effort to ask, do I really know you? And now a short clip of some of the work Emmaus is doing right now.
I think that hope coming from despair was really, an essential part of the sort of fundamental ethos of Emmaus. By being companions in a community like this, people are able to help each other to come to terms with some of the issues that may have brought them to that situation, and then to help them move on. This is our main shop, and the original shop, and as you can see, we've got a huge range of
Got lots of stuff in stock at the moment.
We have.
And members of the public can just come in and have a look around, and if they're
Absolutely.
looking for something.
Mickey works primarily in the
Yeah.
the shop.
Lovely.
And
I'm actually a fabricator welder by trade.
Okay.
And I just had a job offer.
oh,
But
have
I'm
you?
not quite
I didn't
sure
know
how it's
that.
going to work. 'Cause it's only a contract job, but it's good
Right.
money. But it's what I do, what I used to do anyway.
The model really appealed to me, so the fact that we're much more than just a night shelter, that we give people as long as they need to re-establish their independence and address any issues they might have, that we give them that sense of purpose that they need as well, with the opportunity to volunteer for our social enterprise. And actually the real win that we not only do all that great work for homeless people, but actually there's a sustainability is at the very core of that social enterprise that we run.
So you're working on some things at the moment in the
Yes,
workshop?
we've got all sorts of things down to World War II ammunition boxes to
Yes.
small little things.
Woodworking.
Chairs,
Yes.
we repair large
Yeah.
chests.
And is that your background? Is that something you've always done in terms of furniture sort of restoration?
no.
So these are skills you've developed, are they?
Yeah, a lot of this, but they've gone to landfill.
Yeah.
So if you think about all the furniture that we've actually repaired,
Yes.
sold,
And given a new home
Given
to.
a new home.
Yeah, absolutely. What excites you most about working here and being a part of the Emmaus family?
It's the difference we make to people's lives. So whilst we're sorry to see them go on occasion, it's great when a companion moves on and does successfully re-establish their independence. It's particularly nice when they come back, as they sometimes do, to let us know how they're going on.
I've been here this is my 8th month that I've been here. I got into the wrong crowd and I started smoking cannabis and drinking alcohol at the age of 11. Wow. And it very quickly progressed. I was a heroin addict at 15. I was on a prescription at 17. I got my first prison sentence at 17. I went to a young offenders prison at 17 on Felton. And then I had a bit of time out, went back in at 20, had a bit of time out, and then in my late 20s up until like my mid 30s, I was in and out of like all the local London prisons basically. Since being here in Emmaus, I've recently found a job which I'm waiting for a start date with Morgan and Sindel, which is a property maintenance.
Yes. Yeah.
Subcontracting from council. I've done 2 weeks work experience. I've got a guaranteed job interview, and about a month ago I got offered the job, but they want to stick me in college and to do groundworks and stuff like that to better myself in the area that I'm good at.
Wow.
My hope for the future is to obviously move on in goodwill from Emmaus into this job, and to really, because I don't do any of the stuff that I used to do before, so really just to look after my mum and dad really, because I've put them really through it over the years.
It's been really inspiring to hear something about your story, and I just wish you every blessing for the
Thank
future.
you.
I hope things work out really well for you.
Thank you.
Take care.
And God bless yourself.
Thank
as well.
you.
Thank you.
This next piece of music is by Bob Chilcott and expresses the hopes and aspirations we all have, perhaps especially those who come to Emmaus.
Just as I am without thee, but as thy blood was shed for me, and as thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come. Just as I am, oh, tossed about with my conflict turned out, fighting within and fears without, O Lamb of God, I come. Just as I am, O wretched man, my riches feeling of the mind, yea, all I need in thee to find. O Lamb of God, I come. Just as I am, thou wilt receive, and welcome pardon and pains relief, because thy promise is I believe. O Lamb of God, I come. Just as I am, thy love and hope has broken every down. Now to thee I be thine alone, O Lamb of God, I come. Just as I am, of virgin life, the breathless death and times to prove, if for a season then above. Lamb of God, I
As we have said, in the last 30 months, there have been huge changes in the world, which have made us look more closely at ourselves and those around us. Do we really know other people, or indeed ourselves? The reading from Mark shows that Jesus himself was treated as a complete mystery by the people in his hometown of Nazareth. In the same way that we might think we know about the homeless, using our expectations and assumptions and prejudice get in the way, we can do the same with other people within our society and beyond. Do we truly see the person in the wheelchair? Can we take time to understand mental illness? Do we put more value on some skills and abilities than others? Thank God for the people who now come forward into the public eye and are showing that we all need to see a person, not a problem, a strength, not a weakness.
It has been wonderful to see a growing number of people in the public eye who are changing some of our misconceptions. The blind comedian Chris McCausland, the comedian Rosie Jones, who has a form of cerebral palsy, Ade Adipatan, MBE, former wheelchair basketball player, who now presents sports and travel programmes. Jay Blades, repair shop presenter, who recently spoke so openly about his inability to read. Who would have thought it? And of course, what Strictly fan could forget what Rose Ayling-Ellis did for the deaf community when she won the competition.
Another inspiring person with a disability was Frank Williams of the Williams Grand Prix Formula One team. My firm acted for Frank and the team, and I was privileged to get to know him. He had a dreadful car accident in the 1980s, which made him a paraplegic for the rest of his life. But this didn't stop him from running a multi-million-pound Grand Prix team as successfully after his accident as before. In fact, I remember him being even more formidable after his accident than before. In this next anthem, we remember that where God is, there is also love for one another, whatever the circumstances and the differences between us.
Sometimes, though, when we know someone better, the result is far from positive. Recently, the world was again rocked by another school shooting in America. Again, a young person acts in a way that one would never expect, would struggle to see coming. In Texas, Salvador Ramos, aged 18, shot 3 adults dead, one of them his grandmother, and 19 children dead. With no criminal record or history of mental illness, who could have seen it coming? But some people had said that they had seen the signs of this young man even before he announced on social media that he intended to do something atrocious. What is the world coming to? We might say, in some ways we move forward, in others, backwards. At the end of the day, each one of us can try to be the best person that we can. Try to see others, the beauty and the darkness, and to be seen ourselves for our own goodness. And now a prayer from Mother Teresa, which helps to draw together some of the things we have been thinking of. People are often unreasonable, irrational and self-centred.
Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives.
Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies.
Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you.
Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend your years creating, others could destroy overnight.
Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous.
Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten.
Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough.
Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God.
It was never between you and them anyway. And now a song which echoes all of these thoughts. And after that, the Lord's Prayer, as sung by our junior choir.
Empty, broken, here I stand, Kyrie eleison. Touch me with your healing hand, Kyrie eleison. Take my arrogance and pride, Kyrie eleison. Wash me in your mercy's tide, Kyrie eleison. When my heart
words to draw together what we have been thinking about.
So, everything may not be as it seems on the outside. The person you are talking to may have an illness which is not apparent.
May be suffering from huge financial or emotional pressures at home,
May have recently suffered a bereavement.
or any other manner of difficulties.
Be kind. Listen attentively and carefully.
Empathise with them. Do not assume anything about them.
They are unique in the eyes of God and loved by Him.
Offer them your love and support as well.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet may God hold you ever in the palm of His hands. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you, may God hold you